Hey, it's Amanda, and you are watching a segment from 100 videos in 100 days. This started out as a challenge to myself to prove that freedom can come from authenticity and vulnerability, and that life doesn't have to be perfect or look perfect, it doesn't have to feel perfect to be valuable, to really be valuable. And that you don't have to wait to share your gifts till it all looks a certain way. And this is also about what the cost is of waiting to share your gifts. I didn't have a YouTube channel before this. I never did a video of myself. I didn't even like to see myself in camera. So am I scared every time I do this? Yes. But I'm here. I'm showing up, because I'm committed to this conversation about freedom. And the freer I get, I believe the freer you will get. So I invite you to participate as you can. There's no editing here. I get one take. So if it all goes to hell, you go with me. There may be swearing, there may be crying. I may get up and walk around. It's the game. It's authentic and vulnerable. I will look different every day. So that's really the point of it, is in life there's no editing, there's no redos. So who are you going to be? How are you going to show up? What would that look like? And what would be possible if you just showed up exactly as you were and let the cards fall? Would that be freeing? It is to me. And if it is to you, I hope you get something out of these. If there's anything that I say that rubs you wrong or feels off, discard it immediately. It's not for you. It's for whoever needs it, and most likely for me. So when this turns off and the next one turns on, I will be sitting here quietly with my eyes closed. You're not walking into any special session that you're not supposed to see. Everything's transparent here. So I started this to have context in the beginning, because I can see people are jumping in the middle of the series, and I just want to make sure everyone feels included. So I will see you soon. It's overcast outside, so I'm trying to see what this is going to do. Okay. It's funny to go right into closing my eyes like that, so I'm not sure why I'm even getting on the camera. Well, a lot of stuff's been coming through, and I would definitely say the book is writing itself now, thankfully. So when you're trying to write or push that or figure it out, it never feels right, and when you go back and read it again, you're just like, so now I'm mostly just typing, and it's just coming through. So I'm now the secretary dictating the notes, which I prefer. But I did, when I was taking a break yesterday, I had more stuff coming through, and one of them I wrote down, and I sent it to several people. It was one, then more, then more. Don't know why. Just did. And I got a ton of responses back on it. And so I thought I would just share it on here. I have it typed on my phone. So if this helps someone or they see something new from this, that's great. If not, that's great. It's just my job to express what's there. Like my cough. So what it wrote is, remember, you are the only you in existence. You can't get you wrong. How would you even know if you did? What version of you would they point to let you know that? Who would they point to, or who would you point to? And how is it that you are comparing you to the you that you're supposed to be? Where did that image come from? No two moments in time are identical. So you are literally doing everything for the first time each and every moment. You will never repeat the same breath. Every second is new to your being. You are creating all of it as you go. The only you there is designing an aspect of the universe strictly by being. You can't not get it right. So I got, oh my gosh, I love that. Got a smile with some tears. I mean, I got all sorts of comments, and somewhere they were trying to wrap their mind around it. Like, that feels so good, and my mind is kind of freaked out. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. To me, that's a good thing, because that means your mind has not entertained that before. So it's new, like a new exercise, a new stretch. It may feel weird, but it feels good at the same time. So I'm getting a lot of that. So whatever I write, I feel like my brain is literally stretching and pulling and trying new positions it's never done before. But it actually feels really good. And I even have to process what's being written. And I also have realized why it's hard for me to, maybe it just depends on the project, but charge people for things that I do, because when I'm really clear and present, these things just come through. It's not a trying, there's no effort, it's just showing up. So I'm the flute and the music's playing. So it feels weird for me to go, well, I'm the flute and whatever was blowing and all that information came through, that was all me. So I realize it's a partnership, but it feels strange to have things come through me and then that I know have nothing to do with me. I mean, they feel as foreign to me as they do to you when you hear them, maybe. So it's very much, it's writing the book. It's giving me the information. And then I guess I get to choose whether or not I do anything with it. I don't know. But that was something that came to me about that. And then I guess I'll share a little bit about what's been going on with me. So I guess this is video number 50. And I really did have to step back from these videos. Because even though you guys couldn't see what was going on when I was off the camera, like I said, it was around the clock, looking, distinguishing, breaking things down, writing things down, diagramming things out, worksheets, questions, new formulas I basically devised to really distinguish what the ego was. And now what's happened, I think it's kind of like when you invest, and you invest $100 a month, and then just a few years down the road, you look at your totals and they're huge, and it doesn't make sense. But given that for basically 2 months now, every day, all day, I've been looking and pulling things apart and distinguishing and surrendering, and then the next layer comes up, and I think effectively what I would say is that the ego's falling away, but it's rapidly falling away. So I truthfully do not experience life in the same way. I experience it far more as I wrote there. Pain and energy isn't the same. Conversations aren't the same. The way I see things aren't the same. The way I hear things aren't the same. In fact, I can hear. I've gone through several months where I started to feel like my hearing was going down, and I was going to have my ears checked. And then the other day I noticed that I hear everybody just fine. I think I wanted to not hear people anymore. It was too much. So the body will do what you tell it to, essentially, even though it's subconscious. I noticed we've had tons of monsoons here in Arizona, so it's overcast all the time, and that used to drive me crazy. I like the rain, at night because it cools things off, but I don't like overcast. And it was one concern I had about moving to California was, yeah, but it'll be overcast because of the beach. So it's been a couple weeks of this, and I realized there was no depression around it. In fact, I was actually enjoying it, looking for it, hoping it was coming. I've never done that ever. So there's a lot of things I don't notice till I realize I haven't been complaining or being nagged about it for, a week or two. I think it's interesting because you can go to seminars and you can read things like Byron Katie or Eckhart Tolle or Osho or, and a number of gurus or people that have explained how they've woken up, Buddha. And a few elements for me about that was frustration because most of them just had it happen. They were severely depressed, suicidal, and then something happened. They cracked open, and then all this stuff comes through. And when it happens to people, they've actually, the wise ones, process it out so that it integrates. Otherwise, the ego, where it can sneak back up, it will try and cling to it and hold on to it. And then it gets really weird and they go into a depressed place because they can't get back to where they were. So it was, fine to go to these things, but then part of it's like, I'm not going to get probably struck by lightning or fall into a deep sleep or whatever that is, even though I have a lot of the same emotional symptoms they do. So even if I do all this stuff, I'm not going to have this calm and peace all the time that they do. So that was kind of in the background. And some frustration that I felt like they couldn't effectively explain what they went through or how to get there other than a few pointers, like, be present, focus on breath, meditation, question your thoughts. But then something seems so out of bound, like there's no problems. If you're sad, that's just a tantrum. It's like, I don't know how to, or just be happy. Happiness is a choice. It's like, I don't know how to tell that people that are really depressed or suicidal and have them really get something from that. I know I can't in those moments. So there was that frustration about it. Maybe some of what they said didn't feel practical, like real life advice you could pass along. It just seemed like pie in the sky kind of stuff. And also there's always me questioning what they said, publicly. Not that I wanted to attack or anything like that, but just where I felt like there was gaps that could be explained. Because I seem to be able to hear them in anything I've ever been in, and then people want to come talk to me because they think I hear something they don't. Maybe I do. I have no idea. I always swear that I heard it somewhere. But everyone swears it came from me. Maybe it did. But now I'm just saying what's there, and now more's coming. Trying to think where I was going with this. Well, in any case, so what I feel like has happened or is happening is where they walked there in that dark space and then that popped open for them and they worked it out enough that they could articulate it and bring it back. I had the darkness in front of me and then I charged at it. And I know that they'll say, don't argue with mind, don't argue with your ego, you'll lose. And in the moment that it's really angry and nasty, yeah, you will lose. It's like the Chinese finger thing, and you stick your finger in there and you pull and you fight, you're stuck. And it's sinking into it and letting it be, and it can release. That's why I said, like, granting being. Even when your mind sounds loud, just grant it being. And feel what you feel. That is just critically important. So I think because I was doing these videos and I really had all the background knowledge of what to do and how to do it, I just had never implemented them all at the same time. But because I was doing it this way, I really had no choice or didn't feel like it other than to turn and face the ego. And in some ways I felt like maybe I was challenging it. In a lot of ways I feel like I'm putting a giant spotlight on it so I can see what the hell I'm dealing with. I mean, we hear ego and mind and the voice, whatever. I want specifics. I may not have to go to war with it, but I still want to know what it's capable of. I still want to know, how does it function? You know, if I have a computer, I may not want to sit and scream at the virus on my computer, but I'd like to know what it does, what harm it may cause on the computer, how I can remedy it, how I can make it less of an impact on the stuff I have in there. And make it so that I can download things when I want to. So the computer works for me and not for the virus. But that means I need to know where the virus is coming from, and then I want as much information about it as I can get. Where does it sneak in? Where does things weakened in the system that it can come in? What words or what clicks or quirks or weird things would happen that would signal that it's coming, so that I can be prepared for that. And I feel like effectively that's what's happened is, like I said, they talk about mind and ego and whatever, but it's like, but give me specifics so I know what I'm dealing with. You know, when I hear directives, I know that's ego. When I think I know how I am, that's ego. When I think I know how you are, that's ego. When I feel push, ego. When I'm trying, ego. Basically, anything other than being or natural expression is ego. And that sounds awful. Sounds too much, too hard. And I get that. But the ego wants it to seem that way. So basically, every day and every moment, I have just turned and said things. Even just when it gets out, I'll just turn, or I hear an opinion like, you should whatever. And I'll turn and say, says who? Want to feel your eyeballs roll back in your head? Try it. It's jarring. My son tried it and he texted me from school and he said, that was freaky. And I said, we are so convinced we are our thoughts. And our feelings, because we're not those either. But we don't even stop to ask what we feel or think first. Or once we have a thought, even though it's a good idea, okay, well, let me see if I feel called to do that, or what I think. Because like I said, there's only you. You are inherently special as you are. You're inherently unique. There is only one in the entire universe, in existence. You're it. You are the goal. There's no other goal. The goal is to express and to experience from your point of view, as centered as you can be, as conscious as you can be, to express you. You were created the way you were created for the very purpose of it, for the purpose of who you are, because no one else can do it. So how can you get it wrong? I can't get you right. You can't get me right. So you're your only point of reference, but we're asking everyone else and we mimic everyone else and we try and be all these other things, but you are the only point of reference you have. Your gut, your knowingness, your soul, your heart. It's the answers are there. They're nowhere else. And so I guess what gets funky about when people want to say, because we have like suicides happening. I was working with someone the other day and had a friend do it recently, and that was public. And that was an interesting experience. So it gets a fine line, right? So if you have depression and pain, everyone wants you to step away from that because you're too close to the ledge. And it makes them nervous. For me, I'd rather you go there and stay there, because that fire burns up all that you are not, if you look. If you start medicating, if you start running, if you keep buying into the story, oh, I'm sick, I'm depressed, I'm in pain, I'm all these things, that the ego loves that too. It doesn't care. It wants the strongest identity it can have. And if you have physical symptoms with it, even better, because you'll believe it. So, I'm trying to think what I was saying there. So we want is, I think it's an instinct or gut instinct when we tell people not to feel pain, of course, because we don't want to feel it. If everyone was fine with their pain, there wouldn't be suicide. I promise. Help me. So going to the pain. So it's weird when my kids say they're struggling or hear someone say they're in pain or whatever, and I'm inside like, yes, perfect. It's your best teacher. Fear, pain, anger, depression, oh, it's the best. Anxiety, top notch. Because those just have you running and believing just your physical symptoms. So, but those are the things that get loud, right? Happiness isn't loud. Calm isn't loud. Peaceful isn't loud. So those things are fine. But for most people, they're still in a lull. They're in a sleeping state. They're still subconscious. Now, maybe they don't have as many beliefs, like I was talking about in that tunnel, like I should be this, I'm supposed to be this. Then maybe they're not bumping up against as many things like that. Or maybe they just are satisfied enough with the identity that the ego has. You know, well, I like that I'm like so-and-so. Okay, well, are you expressing you by being so-and-so? Or having their attributes? What are yours? That's what I feel like I've been doing, is literally because things are falling away that are not me, I'm seeing things about myself that I've never seen, I wouldn't have believed. Things that I thought were true are not true. And really that it's very hard to even take on an identity. Because, you know, they'll say, like, forsake all your possessions because that ties to the ego. Sure. But thoughts are things. Feelings are things. People are things. So even if life took everything away from you, and a lot of times people have a spiritual awakening there because their ego can't reach out to them to grab onto for an identity. I have all this stuff, and that's proof, and it's out in your face. You don't have to defend it. But I'm going way out where I didn't expect to go, so I'm just going to keep going. But it'll take on identities too, and that might be, well, look, I'm very spiritual because I don't have anything. I'm very poor. I'm homeless. That's how spiritual I am. And that's as big of an identity. When I go and sit with homeless people, I love that they tell me the hierarchy of them. Well, I'm not sleeping with her, she's a slut. And then she'll come by and say something to him like, why don't you stop being a cradle robber? I mean, they just bicker and they have their stories about each other. And they're still not free because they still believe all these thoughts. But they very much have their own system of who's the most successful of the homeless. Who's got it the most together of the homeless. Who has the most potential of the homeless. Ego doesn't care. So even if you give it all away, because you're very spiritual, congratulations, your ego has a new identity. And then when that spirituality gets questioned or rocky, or someone questions the validity of it, ego will freak out because it's built a structure, and that structure starts wobbling and it feels scary, and that's where anxiety comes from, stress. So what I'm noticing is even when my ego's trying to come up with a new, like, oh, well, we're this, or we like this, or there's something in me now that it just falls away. It's not able to grab, because I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. And before I could have conceptually said, yeah, I'm just not going to believe it. That's what I was taught to do, don't believe it. Okay, well, if I'm really trying not to believe it, that's because I'm trying to get it right. And that's from the ego. Now, it just won't stick. And that's part of why it's been weird to try and do the videos, is when I start to say something, most of what I say I actually don't believe. Not in it wouldn't be helpful kind of way, but it's just in the big picture, most of what I'm saying is because I could really say, it's all nonsense. And you know the picture of the laughing Buddha? He's laughing for a reason, because we think this is real and it's serious. But it's not. But does that help anyone? Not really. I don't think so. Never helped me. I was like, good for you. And here was the other thing about, I was going to say at the end of the other one, when you go to these seminars or you go read their books or whatever it is. For me, there was always a fear, and I think a lot of people have it, that if I go through this place of not knowing, like my dead foot over here. It's numb. Then I won't be here anymore. The person I've known, like the structure that the ego has. So the ego is only worried. The ego is the only thing worried about what will happen if you wake up, because it will try and predict about what it's like. Like, you will have no motivation, you'll have no drive, you won't care about anything, you won't even feel, you'll be numb. Like, people won't see you the same, you won't feel the same about people. What if you don't love them the same? What if they don't love you the same? What if you don't want to, keep climbing the corporate ladder? What if you don't want to keep doing those things? Then everything we worked for, and it's kind of like that, like everything we've been through, and we're just going to throw it all away if you wake up. And then who's going to love us then? Who's going to want us then? You're the goal. When you get that you are special by default of showing up, that's when you're free. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. You already are. And I know we hear this all the time. And that's, I think sometimes why this is kind of a painful process in some ways, because I can't give it back out to you. So I'm I just would like to be able to explain this the best that I can so that people can utilize it the best way and make it their own. Don't follow what I'm saying. Don't try and be me. Don't try and take my words as your words. Take them in and then look for yourself. Try it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Don't let me be your filter for what's right, wrong, good, bad, should, shouldn't, because that's just the ego glomming onto another thing. Well, I want to sound like her. I want to be like her. No, you want to be like you, because you've got it all. You're it. You're inherently special because you're here. There's no one else like you. You're you. There's a Zen Buddhism type question or puzzle. I don't know what they call it. But you've probably heard it about if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it fall, it doesn't make a sound. And that kept popping up to me the other day because I realized that the ego requires everything to come be outside of itself. And so then I thought, if I believe I'm special, or if I know I am, it's not even a belief, because belief comes from ego. So if I know or I experience being special, and I don't have that agreement from everyone else around me, right? If people don't tell me I'm special, people can't see I'm special, whether it's a talent, whether because I tell them, whether it's because of my house, my car, the way my kids turned out, my hair, my makeup, the person I'm dating, how many likes I have on Facebook, whatever. Does it still count? Does the tree still make a sound when it falls if no one's there to witness it? Are you special if no one's there to witness it? You are, because there's only one of you. Only you can do you. Only you can do your job. But what we do is we walk around trying to be all, not special, with the I, the little I in there, which is I. You show up on the planet, I, being. We try and be special, S-P-E-S-H, and then capital A-L-L. We try and be special to all. And what happens with that is you change your personality, you change your favorite color, you change what's your favorite sports, hobbies, likes, dislikes, Whether you feel healthy, whether you don't feel healthy. If you're around sick people, you're going to feel guilty to be well and healthy and thrive. Vice versa, like you will just adapt. You become a chameleon. So you'll never know that you're special because you're too busy trying to mimic everything around you. You've diluted down your being and tried to spread it very thin, and everyone around you is doing the same thing, so it kind of gets mixed. So there's a reason that the word special has an I in there, because you are unique, an I. One of a kind. Like no other. Individual. It's you. Came with all the ingredients. It was just, you're just here to bake. Bake muffins, cookies, cakes, give them out, and just keep baking. That's it. Your style, your way, and only you have to get it. The rest is your ego. There's nothing else. Nothing. And when you really get that about you, the byproduct is being in love with everyone around you. What they say, it can be nasty, and you start like, they want to communicate with me. They didn't have to. They didn't even have to acknowledge my existence, but they did. And because you already are full, your cup runneth over, anyone else's cup looks fine. You don't care if it's empty, high, low, whatever. There's nothing to fix. There's no one to save. You're just baking. And I can't give it away. But take what I'm sharing, or don't, and try it out. Just let it stretch your brain. And see what happens. I mean, it's not going to hurt. It'll hurt your ego. That's okay. My ego has become, or it feels like, the toddler that knows who its mama is, and not me having a toddler be in charge of me, and me buying it stuff, and me shushing it, like I said, or me shushing it, or me hiding in a closet because the kid's banging on the door, hiding in the bathroom for a break, going through a drive-through because it's screaming in the car and I don't want to hear it, putting Dimetap in its bottle, putting it in timeout just because I need the timeout, getting a job I don't want because I got to do something to deal with the tub. I mean, it's in charge of everything. For me, it's not anymore. When you feel pain, so I guess it's one thing I want to say real quick, because then I'm going to shut this off, is that you don't numb. You don't not love things anymore. It's just you get clear about what you do or what you feel called to, and you just notice you're in motion. There's not the worries. If I start to feel a stress or feel like I have to fix something, whatever, I'm just like, and it's like, fine. And I'll run off and try and get something else. But because I've been distinguishing it like a mad woman and getting very facile with it, and it's just, it's like things get peeled off your eyes and you see for the first time things so clearly, and you're not afraid that it might slip away or it might change shape. I mean, in a month I could sound completely different, and am I worried about that? No, my job is to express this now in this moment. That's all I can do. It's my only job. I can't worry about what will happen in a month. It's none of my business. Now is my job. If your mind is running way out in the future, that's your ego. If it's worried about the past, that's your ego. Now, you're present, right here, and that is something that the ego cannot coexist with. It can't exist in presence, because when you speak, you're speaking to the moment, And the language actually never, or the ego never can give you language for the moment. Even what I'm saying is already in the past. I know, our minds can't go there. Because even you can say, like, I'm really enjoying this moment. No, you're describing what you just enjoyed. So you only will ever have language for the past or trying to predict the future. So when you're in the moment, even if it looks scary and traumatic, if you're present, you don't have language going in. You're just in motion, you're fluid, you're baking, you're delivering goods. You don't even care if they don't like the cupcakes. Because you love the fact that you made the cupcakes. Okay, I'm gonna upload this. And I'll be back when I am. And I'll be writing in the meantime, I suppose. Could I know for sure? Nope. Am I worried about it? Nope. And thanks to people that have written and told me what you've gotten out of some of the stories are remarkable. I don't even know how you're doing some of the things you're doing from what I say. Huh? And some of you want to rewatch these. Sometimes I can be good company. That's fair. And I'll probably keep sharing things that I'm writing along the way. Whether they go in the book or not, that's not for me to say. It will say. And I hope this made a difference for someone. That, I hope. I'm going to go with that. All right. Bye.